What's up guys, Mizzo Frizzo here, and welcome back to my true first-person shooter tutorial series. This is part 13, where we're going to implement a few random things here and tie up some loose odds and ends, such as the weapon spawning logic problem that I mentioned in an earlier session. I've come up with a rather elegant solution. So as you can see here, I've got both of these weapons, and if I go to pick up a weapon that I've already got, it will drop a pickup. If I didn't already have that weapon, it would not spawn the pickup. I would just pick it up. And this doesn't matter which weapon you're holding, it just matters whether you've got it. So if I'm holding the pistol but I've already got an assault rifle, I'm dropping my other assault rifle, and vice versa. And the other thing I've added here is the ability to store the ammo count of that weapon that's dropped. So as you can see here, this pistol has 12 rounds. If I use a couple there, it's now got 10, and I will drop it and pick up this other one which still has 12. I'll use a few of those, so this one has 6 left, and now if I pick this one up, it's still got 10, and this other one has still got 6. You can see this at work here. Very nice. As you may have noticed, I've also added the random spread to our line trace. So when hip firing, you have a certain amount of random spread, and when you're aiming down the sights, it's quite a lot less. But it is accentuated right now just to demonstrate, so that you can see that it's at work here. And the further away you are, the more that spread is going to be. Really nice. You may have also noticed that I'm spawning these bullet casings from my weapon as I'm firing. These bullet casings spawn out of the ammo eject slot on the weapon, so we're going to add this, and these bullet casings will disappear after 30 seconds, so you should be able to start seeing those ones disappear over there. I have also fixed an issue where if you're reloading and you switch weapons, it would continue playing a montage and it would never receive the enum notify that you've finished reloading, so you wouldn't be able to fire. So right now, if I reload and I switch weapons, it's cancelling that montage and it's resetting the boolean about is reloading, so we're not reloading anymore. Yeah, so I think that's about all we're going to go through today. Without further ado, let me show you how to do this. Alrighty guys, let's start with the reload cancelling logic. So we'll fix that problem. We'll start by creating a custom event. I'm going to call it stop. Off to a good start there. Stop reloading. And off of stop reloading, we first want to check, are we reloading? Because if we're not reloading, we don't want to execute any of this code. So we will grab our is reloading and put it on a branch. And if we are reloading, we want to do something called stop slot animation. So I'm going to grab my body here, my mesh, whoops, not set, get my body and get enum instance, and then off of get enum instance we can stop slot animation. We can make the blend out time 0.05, and then the last thing we want to do is set our is reloading to false, because these animations will never complete because those blueprints are being destroyed. So we want to the enum notify will never trigger, so we want to set is reloading back to false. And where we want to call this stop reloading is in our weapon switching logic. So I've got my weapon switching logic down here, and in each of these I'm going to call at the end stop reloading. I'm going to control C that one, go into my switch pistol, add this to the end, whoops, and switch assault rifle, add this to the end. Nice. We can just check that that's working real quick. So if I'm reloading and then I switch, it stops the reloading animation. Very nice. Not as clean as some of the sort of reloading and switching logic that you might find in something like Call of Duty, where they've pulled the magazine out, and then when you pull the weapon back out, it's still got the magazine removed and you have to reinsert it. We're not going to do anything that advanced in this one. Just as long as it works like rather cleanly, that's what we're going for here. So let's go on to changing up our weapon spawning logic here. The first thing I'm going to do here is break this is valid connection, and I'm going to move this out to the left here. We're going to add some stuff here, and we're just going to, we can get rid of this current weapon and pickup class here. I am going to make this a custom event, and I'm going to call it spawn pickup. And with spawn pickup selected, we can add a couple of inputs over here. The first one will be our pickup class. Whoops. And that's going to be a class reference to our pickup master, BP weapon pickup class reference. And straight away we can plug that into the class here. I'm also going to add an input and call it ammo for our passing the ammo to the spawned pickup. That's going to be an integer. We'll worry about the ammo in a moment. First, let's just do the logic here on whether we want to actually spawn a pickup or not. So off of weapon to spawn here, what we can do is get the class defaults, and then we can switch on weapon name, and if we're trying to pick up a pistol, we want to check, have we got a pistol? So I'm going to get has pistol and has assault rifle here and put them on a branch. Plug 1 into pistol, plug 2 into assault rifle. And if we do have a pistol, we want to spawn a pickup of a pistol. So this is going to be our custom event spawn, this is spawn pickup. Spawn pickup, and I'm just going to move all of this up a little bit more. Plug one of these also into the true on assault rifle, and so if we do have a pistol, we want to spawn a pickup of the weapon we're trying to pick up, and so you can grab pickup class here and plug it into pickup class. And I'm just going to add a reroute node here and plug that one into the other one. Very good. And we'll worry about the ammo in a moment. Let's just do this spawn logic first. So if we don't have one, we want to skip the spawn pickup and just go into destroy actor. I'm going to add a reroute node here. And again, if we don't have an assault rifle, we also just want to go ahead and destroy our current weapon, spawn the new one, and go on from there. Alright, let's set up this ammo. So the first thing we're going to need to do is in our spawn weapon custom event here, I'm going to add another input, and it's going to be ammo of type integer, and then we're going to go over to our pickup classes. So in weapons and pickups, we've got our BP weapon pickup. We want to go into BP weapon pickup, and here's the ammo that we just added to our spawn weapon, the ammo input. We want to add a new variable, call it ammo of type integer, And over here in the details panel, we want to check instance editable and expose on spawn. This will mean that we can plug it into our spawn actor node in our character blueprint, and we're going to pass the ammo over to here. This is to set our current ammo. Also, now that we've added this ammo variable to our pickup master, we want to set it in each of our weapon pickups as whatever the max ammo is. So if we open up our BP pistol pickup, I'm just going to change the ammo to what I set the maximum ammo for the pistol is 12. And in BP assault rifle pickup, my default ammo, my max ammo is 40. Alrighty, so this ammo that we passed over is actually what we want to set our ammo for our new weapons as. So we're not going to use the magazine size anymore of the current weapon. We are going to grab ammo from our custom event here and plug it in all the way down here. Let's make a couple of reroute nodes to try and keep this clean. We can plug that one straight into there, this one down here, and that plugs straight into there. And let's just put a reroute node there, run that line straight through the middle. And the other thing we want to do is we want to spawn this pickup with the ammo of the current ammo of that weapon. So it hasn't actually appeared here. If we compile, it still hasn't appeared. This is the instance editable and expose on spawn variable that I'm looking for here. There we go, now it's appeared here. So if you haven't got this here, maybe just try compiling and saving your weapon pickup blueprint, compiling and saving your character blueprint. You should have this ammo thing here, and we're going to pass this ammo here. This ammo is being passed from where we're calling the custom event here. So what we want to set those as is the current weapon, the current ammo for that weapon. So we've got our pistol ammo and our assault rifle ammo. Very nice. That should all be good to go. So let's test that out real quick. If we already have the weapon, we don't want to spawn a pickup. If we don't have that one, don't want to spawn. If we do, we want to spawn it, and we want to pass our ammo over to it as we spawn it. Very nice. That works really well. 6 and 9. Nice. Very good. Alrighty. Moving on, guys. What should we do next? Let's do the bullet casing ejection when we fire. So as part of my firing logic here, I'm just going to add in and before the delay, always before the delay on the fully automatic firing logic, I'm going to call a custom event, which I'll first create. Add a custom event, call it eject casing, and then I'm going to call that in here eject casing. So I'm going to grab my custom event here and just move it out into some open space. This is where I'll set up the logic. But first we want to create a couple of bullet casing blueprints that our weapons are going to eject. So what I might do in main and weapons is create a new folder and call it ammo casing BP, maybe. And in ammo casing BP, I'm going to create a new blueprint class of type actor, and I'm going to call it BP underscore ammo casing master. Okay, I'm going to open up BP ammo casing master, and in the components section add a new static mesh, call it bullet casing. Drag bullet casing onto the root to make it the root, and I'm just going to set this static mesh as anything right here. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to make it assault rifle A ammo. It doesn't have to be an ammo mesh, it can be anything. The reason we're setting this as something is so that we can give it some attributes that will be inherited in the child classes. So we're going to search for physics and check simulate physics, and we're also going to search for collision, and in collision presets make it custom, and let's ignore the pawn, and let's ignore our trace channel. Yeah, that should do for now. That's all we really need to do in here. We can then right click on it and create a child blueprint class, and I'm going to call this one ammo casing pistol, and I'm also going to create another blueprint child class and call this one ammo casing assault rifle. Open ammo casing pistol, and first thing I'm going to do is change the bullet casing static mesh to my pistol A ammo. Nice. While I'm here, I'm going to browse to my pistol A ammo, the static mesh. I'm going to browse to that static mesh and open it up, and I'm going to make sure this has some collision. So I'm going to add capsule simplified collision, and straight away you'll see that it's also got a box collision there. So I'm just going to remove collision and add capsule simplified collision. So it's just got a capsule collision just like that. Very nice. Can save and close that. And that's all we need to do in here. Close that and open up our open up our assault rifle casing blueprint, change the bullet casing static mesh to our assault rifle B ammo, and compile and save it, but also browse to that static mesh and open it up, remove collision, add capsule simplified collision. Very good. Save and close that. Nice. The other thing we want to do is in the master, ammo casing master, I'm just going to add some logic in the event graph. Very basic logic. On event begin play, I'm going to delay for 30 seconds and then destroy actor. So those bullet casings, when they spawn, they'll last for 30 seconds and then they'll be destroyed. Okay. One other thing we need to do is in our weapon master, I'm going to add a new variable, call it ammo casing, and it's going to be a class reference to our ammo casing master. Ammo casing master class reference. Nice. Because when we eject the casing here, we want to just have one spawn actor node. So off eject casing, we can spawn actor from class. Now that we created that variable in the BP weapon master, we also need to set it in the blueprints of the weapon. So in BP pistol and ammo casing, you can change it to your ammo casing pistol. Compile, save, and close that. And in BP assault rifle, change the ammo casing to your BP ammo casing assault rifle. Nice. Almost forgot that bit. Because now we can grab our current weapon and get ammo casing, plug that into the spawn class here. Nice. Okay, let's right click the spawn transform and split it, and I'm also going to right click the transform rotation and split that, because otherwise the rotation of our ammo casing is not correct. Off of current weapon, we can get our weapon model. Get weapon model. And within the weapon model, we're going to access some sockets to get the location and rotation to spawn our bullet casing. So let's have a look at our sockets in our weapons. I'm using pistols A and assault rifle B, so I'm going to open my pistols A skeleton, and I'm going to look for this ammo eject socket. If you don't have one, you can just create one by adding a socket and then renaming it whatever you like. But looking at where this ammo eject, whoops, just fighting with my camera speed there for a moment, sorry about that. Looking at where this is, it's not right. If I grab the slide and move it back, you'll see this is the chamber where the ammo casing should be ejecting from, right here. So I'm just going to undo that, and I'm going to grab my ammo eject, and I'm just going to move it back to here where I think it should come out. It's also worth noting the name of the socket. So we want this to be the same on every weapon. I'm going to Control C that name. I'm also going to look at the orientation of this socket. So if you look at the widget, you'll see that this is the forward vector this way, and this is the right vector. So we're going to eject our casings out to the right. Okay, so ammo eject is the name. It has the right orientation, it's in the right position, and I'm just going to check my other weapon, military weapons dark, assault rifle B skeleton, and ammo eject. That looks good there. That's where the chamber is, so that's all good. And just check the name. So you can even just paste in the name that copied from the other one to make sure it's exactly the same, but I can see there it is exactly the same. So our sockets are all good. We can close those skeletons, go back to our character's blueprint, and we're going to get socket location, paste in the name, make sure the name is correct, and also get socket rotation. Again, make sure the socket name is there. The socket location is going to be our spawn location, but our rotation is going to be a little bit different. So I can break this rotator, and I happen to know that the Y axis is the one that needs changing, so I'm going to plug in the X and the Z axes as they are, but the Y axis I am going to add, I believe it's -90. So I'm going to subtract 90 off the Y axis to get that rotation correct. The next thing we're going to do is add impulse to our bullet casing. So how we're going to calculate this impulse is with the socket rotation. We're going to get the right vector, get right vector, and I'm actually going to multiply this by a bit of randomness so the bullet casings don't all come out at the same speed. So I'm going to find a random float in range, plug it in here, and I'm going to make my range 90 to 150. I also want to add my character's movement to this, because if I'm moving to the right and the bullet casings are ejecting to the right from where the chamber is, or was, I should say, I kind of move through the bullets. They don't keep coming out to the right, so I'm going to get velocity, and I'm just going to dial this down a little bit by multiplying it by a float, single precision, 0.8. So 0.8 of my character's velocity is adding to the right vector, which is multiplied by this random amount here. You want to plug this into impulse and check velocity change here. Very good. That should all be set up and ready to go. If I pick up the pistol, I'm spawning my pistol casings, pistol ammo casings, and my assault rifle casings. The only other thing I want to change here is the spawn transform scale. I'm going to make it 0.7 because I think those casings look way too big. Very nice. There we go. So we're nearing the end here. We've achieved a lot very quickly, actually. Let's just do our line tracing. So I've got some other stuff here on the right, montages and whatnot. Don't worry too much about that. We're just going to be focusing on the line trace logic here. And I want to get my isAiming boolean, make a branch, because this is going to be my hip firing. And I'm just going to change this multiplier here to 15,000 for 150 meters. Okay. And I'm going to just copy all of this, Control D, duplicate it up here, because this is going to be my aiming down the sights, and this is going to be my shooting from the hip. So what we're going to do is add some randomness here. Where we're going to add it is on the end point. So where we've added our forward vector of our socket rotation times by a big number to our socket location to get the endpoint, we're just going to add another pin here and split this into the X, Y, and Z. And what we're going to do is find more random ranges, random float in ranges. But we're going to multiply this by a multiplier on each weapon. So what we want to do is go into our weapon master. I'll just see if I still got it open up here. BP weapon master. I'm going to create a new variable and I'm going to call it spread multiplier. Okay, of type float. And then I want to go into each weapon and change that value. So in my weapons folder, BP pistol, I'll find this spread multiplier and I'm just going to make it 1 for my pistol. And then I'm going to open BP assault rifle and make my spread multiplier 1.2. You can accentuate this if you like, exaggerate it to see the effects. What you could also do is you could make in your weapon master, you could make 3 of these and call them spread multiplier X, spread multiplier Y, and spread multiplier Z. And then you can play with those figures in your weapon blueprint, your X, Y, and Z, to then sort of design a spread, spread behavior for each weapon. I'm just going to do 1 here, but basically what you'd want to do with your X, Y, and Z is you want to multiply these by your current weapon. So I just drag off a current weapon over here and get the spread multiplier. So I am going to just have the 1 spread multiplier plugged into all 3 of these. But if you wanted to do different spread multiplier X, spread multiplier Y, spread multiplier Z, you would just plug the X into the X here, spread multiplier X into the multiplication here, spread multiplier Y into this multiplier, and spread multiplier Z into this multiplier. And then I'm going to put in a range here in my random float in range. For aiming down the sights, I'm just going to make it -150 to 150. Duplicate that twice, plug it into these multipliers, Whoops. And that should be all good to go. We will do the same on aiming from the hip down here. Gonna add a pin to my addition node here. Right click on the pin and split it. I'm gonna copy these multipliers and plug them in. And I'm also going to make sure I plug in my target here onto my current weapon. Find my random float in range. And for my hip firing, I'm going to make this minus 500 to 500. Duplicate this a couple of times. Plug these in. Very good. That should be all good to go. My line trace is not drawing. I want to make sure that my draw debug type is on for duration, so we can see these line traces in action. Nice, got a good bit of spread there. And this one has a higher multiplier, so at about the same range, I'll get more spread. And because this is added at the end of my 150 meter trace, the further away I am, the greater that spread is going to be. And then when I'm aiming down the sights, it's much less. Again, you'd probably want to dial this down for something like an assault rifle. You know, you might want to dial it way up for a light machine gun, for example. And, you know, you might have different pistols with different spreads or whatever. You can set this up however you like. You also just might want to play with your socket rotation, because mine obviously is not lining up here with my sights too well. So yeah, that's everything, guys. We've set up the cancelling on the reload. We've set up our spawn logic, so if we already have that weapon, it's dropping a spawn of that weapon, and it is passing that ammo variable to the weapon, the spawned weapon, and then passing it back when we attach the blueprint. Very nice. And we've got our bullet casings, which are ejecting out, and they're rotated nicely in line with the weapon, and they're going to stay on the ground there for 30 seconds and then disappear. The one thing we didn't look at is adding the character's velocity to those weapons. We didn't those ammo casing ejections. We didn't really test that, but you can see here very quickly that it's working. Especially if I move forward, you can see that they're falling forward, and if I'm moving to the right, they're kind of still dropping down. They're not moving all the way through my weapon. If you didn't add that velocity, then they would be falling through the weapon to the left as you move to the right, relative to where you are at the time. So yeah, that's working well. Alright guys, that's everything we set out to do. Very good. We tied up some odd loose ends there, and fixed up some logic, added some new stuff. I think that's good work. We're nearing the end of the true first-person shooter tutorial series, because I do want to move on to other things and sort of you know, record some longer beginner tutorials and some new series. I'm going to do a first-person shooter, traditional first-person shooter, with procedural recoil and stuff like that. So let's just we'll call it a day very soon. We might add some enemies, because what kind of game would it be without some enemies? And so a little bit of enemy AI and some health logic on those, so we can kill some enemies, maybe have them come at us in waves, and then we'll move on to bigger and better things. If this video has been of any use or value to you whatsoever, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also please note that I have added the ability to thank me via supers on YouTube. I will not be making a Patreon. I never will. It's too much admin. I like to just have everything all in one place. So if you feel so inclined, it would be much appreciated if you make a small donation to the channel. It will keep me going. And I will see you on the next one.